Repair in Stalker Anomaly can be confusing, and it can vary in its practicality depending on what type of playthrough you're doing and what difficulty settings you're using. In this short video I will talk about technicians, their traits, as well as their vices, as well as the other useful information you should know regarding spawns and about crafting. In Anomaly, many things like prices and the availability of goods will depend greatly on your difficulty level. This guide is a general guide, and things like prices will differ from game to game, but the same ratios should still apply. Different add-ons will also play a role in prices and the availability of goods. In Anomaly, repair is an essential part of your day-to-day life in the zone. If you are not careful, you will spend tens of thousands of rubles paying a technician to repair your crappy shotgun once every few in-game days, instead of repairing it yourself for a few hundred rubles after every firefight. When you start your new playthrough, be sure to repair your pistol right away when you have the ability to do so. In most playthroughs, I do not take a rifle or a shotgun as a starting weapon, just so I can invest in other things, because the pistol, if you are careful, will help you in many situations, and in some cases may be a viable endgame last resort ranged weapon. This is due to the fact that a pistol can go in the knife slot, which lets you have 3 firearms at a single time. The way to keep that starting pistol well cleaned is to buy a progress handgun cleaning kit, like this one. I would not recommend the cleaning oils, as they usually only work on well kept up items, and you start with about an 80% pistol most times, and sometimes even as low as 75%. The pistol will usually need to do some shooting before you are able to gather enough cash and get yourself to a technician. Thus, the Progress Handgun Cleaning Kit is the way to go. The cleaning kit should be gotten as soon as possible, and should be first priority, because if you let the pistol drop below 75%, then you will need a way more expensive kit that will put a hole in your budget. If you are a bandit, and you get to start with a shotgun, the same principle applies. Get yourself a cleaning kit for that rifle or shotgun as soon as possible and repair it. The same applies for anyone who's starting with beginner equipment that isn't just your basic pistol. Armor and headgear is completely up to the player and their selected character. In most cases, I suggest keeping the armor well maintained, and starting headgear can be forgotten about. Mind you, some factions get better starting equipment and gear, so be careful and look over things before you decide that you won't repair them at all. An important part of keeping your guns working well in fights is upgrading and improving them. To upgrade your guns, you need tools for basic, fine, and advanced work. These are found in stashes, or rarely on dead stalkers. These can be a chore to find, so I recommend holding on to these until you know exactly where your base will be and what mechanic or vice you will be using. There are 2 ways of upgrading your guns, and both require leveled technicians. The way to level technicians is to ask them for a job and then bring them the tools that they require. When technicians have no tools, they are very poor and have no proper toolkits for you to be able to upgrade your own guns. They only have handgun toolkits and not a large assortment of parts. In most cases, once the tools are handed in, you will need to wait for a new stock delivery. This usually takes a couple of in-game days, depending once again on your difficulty. A benefit for leveling a technician to the max is that you get access to the device for free. Usually the device would cost 1,000 rubles for 5 real-life minutes of use. The device is used for crafting items and upgrading weapons and armor. You will need the tools in your inventory, Or if the technician has the three types of tools, you will not need them. Gunsmithing and drug making kits are also needed for crafting ammo and medicine, and these need to be present in your inventory and not the mechanic's inventory. Like I said before, the device needs to be paid for and costs 1,000 rubles for 5 minutes of use. It is free although if the technician is dead or you have already given him all three tools, so he gives it to you for free. Repair of objects can be done by replacing parts via the device with the help of a toolkit for a specific item type you are trying to repair, like a pistol toolkit for replacing a barrel on a Glock, or a rifle toolkit to replace a gas block on an AK. There are many materials present that help repair weapons, armors, and craft. All parts of said weapons or armors that need to be replaced to keep your weapon fresh and free of filth. Most of these items can be found in stashes, outlawing in the world, bought from stalkers, bought from traders and technicians, looted, crafted, or made by scrapping equipment. To scrap items into parts, you will need either a multi-tool, a Swiss knife, or a grooming kit. Only the multi-tool can dismantle guns. A good idea would be to use the multi-tool only for guns and weapons, while using a Swiss knife or a grooming kit exclusively for those outfits that you're scrapping for parts. Some final tips and notes that I would like to say is running bad ammo through the gun will cause it to break sooner. Crafting and doing your own repair is usually not viable on cheaper guns and on lower difficulties. Putting on upgrades yourself is only viable for best upgrades like the Exosprint upgrade or the regeneration upgrades in certain suits. Always check the prices between doing it yourself or buying it. If in doubt, buy it and save yourself the trouble. Crafting is good if you hoard things and you don't sell many things to traders and mechanics. Best crafts for me are the ammo conversions and the medicine crafts, because you find many unneeded medical items on killed stalkers, and this way it converts it into usable medkits and bandages. Also, bad ammo can be converted into good ammo, which will further aid you and basically gives you free good ammo without having the drawback of lowering your gun condition significantly and causing way less damage than usual. That was it, Stalker. I hope your next adventure will be just a little easier. But for now, goodbye.
Вместо тепла зелень стекла, вместо огня дым. Из сетки календаря выхвачен день. Красное солнце сгорает дотла, день догорает с ним. На пылающий город падает тень. Перемен требуют наши сердца. Перемен требуют наши глаза.